Hey guys, hi. Welcome to a new episode of we're reviewing The Walking Dead. Hi, hey, what's
But
up?
there is a kitty.
There was a kitty and
She
kitty's
just
gone.
jumped off.
Lemon just gone. Okay, a little
But
bit
we
higher.
wanted to show you the cat.
There we go. Ooh, that's gonna be a good quality video right there. What's up? I'm Hector. This is Marina. We're reading the comic book.
Yes.
Walking Dead. Here it is. We just read this volume.
Volume 8, Made to Suffer, and it is true.
Yes. Give us your overall impressions. This is the point of the comic book where, to me, it surpasses the show in terms of I like the comic more than the show. This is the last volume of the comic that I read. Everything after this is going to be new for me. I really, really enjoyed this. Marina, you just read this for the first time. What did you think?
I agree that this is the first volume of the comic book that I think is standout better than what they did in the show. I'm not making the leap to now I like the comic book better than the
Overall?
show forever.
Okay.
Because seasons 1 and 2 and 3 of The Walking Dead are so good.
Okay.
And the first couple of volumes of the comic book are just like kind of like the plot is good, but the dialogue and the art and like stuff that we've already gone over.
Right.
But I will say, like, compared Volume 8 to
Season 3, Season 4.
Season 4, this is absolutely what they should have done in the show. This is way better.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, usually when I read a comic book, and by a comic book I mean these comic books, because they're the only ones I've ever read, I go like, whatever, and I like do something else, and then I whatever. But this whole time I was reading this one, I was like, like, it was freaking me out.
So the craziest thing to me happens at the end of this volume. This is the governor comes back and is attacking the prison. Okay? The governor, who, in my opinion, in the comic book is, we talked about this, way more
better,
brutal, way better, way scarier. Like, he's gnarly.
Okay.
He comes back and he attacks the prison. At the end,
Woo!
Almost everybody dies.
Yeah.
Rick and Carl get out, and that's pretty much
it.
Like, Lori, with holding a baby Judith, gets shot and killed. How brutal was that?
I could not believe that shit happened.
Yeah. Yep.
Because in the show,
yes,
Judith is fine, and
and Lori dies giving birth.
Lori dies giving birth.
Yeah.
Which is like, yeah, of course. Like people used to
Tyrese. They killed Tyrese. Oh, that part.
People used to die giving birth all the time
without modern medicine.
Right. So I was like, of course she dies. It's fine. But in this motherfucking shit, this is crazy. Wait, is it at the end?
It's at the end. It's the gnarliest, like.
Oh yeah, it's the very end.
It's so sad.
God, I'm trying to find the picture.
It's a woman who shoots. Lori and Judith.
Yeah, the governor makes another, just like some random woman from his. From his town.
Warning.
Yeah, warning graphic. It doesn't actually hit. I think we're supposed to assume that it doesn't hit the baby.
Right.
Technically,
but it hits the baby.
Because it hits the baby, but like we're supposed to see like it hits. Lori.
Obviously, yeah.
But I think the one way we're getting out of like shooting a baby is being like, oh, it hit her stomach. It didn't actually hit the baby.
Sure.
Even though the baby's dead, it's like like it. And then this panel is like, yeah, the baby's dead because she squished her or whatever.
Like under. It's so sad.
It's so sad.
When I first read this years and years and years ago, before The Walking Dead was even a show, I was like, oh my god.
Yeah, I can't believe they killed a baby.
Yes, yep. And it made me love the Walking Dead comic book. And then because it was so brutal, like I had to take a break, and that's the reason I literally never got back onto it. I still loved it.
No!
But I just like had to take a break, and because
this
I didn't this was one where I was
brutal.
like, damn. So every time I used to tell people, oh, I read The Walking Dead up to that part in prison, you know what I'm talking about. They would know what I was talking about. They're like, when this happens.
Does Andrea die?
No, I don't think so.
Because she is shooting people.
Right, and she comes back in the RV, but like we don't see Dale, we don't see Maggie or Glenn.
Yeah.
You know, we don't see some of these characters, but we're left to assume. I know Tyrese gets killed earlier in the comic.
This was
gets decapitated by the governor.
This was the point in the comic where I was like, what? Like, this is way better than the show.
Yes. Gnarly.
Fucking a bunch of times because the governor only has one arm.
Yes.
So he can't just decapitate him in one swoop.
And everybody was
hits
watching.
Him a bunch of times, like, oh.
They were watching and they couldn't do anything about it.
It's so crazy.
His head comes off. It's brutal. The beginning of this book starts with a flashback of the governor, like, getting his forces back together. Mm-hmm. They come and attack, but then they're driven off.
Yeah.
And it isn't until they come back and attack a second time. And remember, the volume before this was the calm before, and it really was the calm before. Like, this is the repercussions of their actions. This
was This was nuts.
It's brutal.
But it was, and then from that point on, it's all action. I mean, the whole thing is all action.
Yes.
But it's like, yeah, this is what would happen.
Yeah.
And this is
and how it
how
would
people
go down.
would respond. And like, I don't even remember.
Hershel dies.
Yeah,
at
Hershel
the end.
dies.
Hershel gets killed. Maggie and Glenn leave in the RV with Dale after the first time the governor attacks, and Rick decides to stay behind.
Right.
And it's a decision that will haunt him, obviously, forever. I'm just going to say that.
In the comic?
In the comic book. Rick is the one that goes, no, we need to stay in this prison. And Dale and Maggie and Glenn are like, we're leaving in this RV because the governor's going to come back. Right. We fought him off one time, but he's going to come back. It's brutal. And then the governor has this weird moment in the beginning, in the flashback, where like he kisses his zombie daughter in the mouth.
Yeah, that was so crazy.
Find that like that's it was just he is
I was
beyond
like,
sick, beyond evil. Very different character in the comic books than he was in the show.
Yeah.
Give Daddy a kiss. Just
good.
horrifying. So there's like a lot that happened in it, but it's also just emotionally draining. So we know how you felt when you were reading it, Marina. The ending is nuts.
Yeah, it's so crazy.
I would agree that I think that by this point, Robert Kirkman, the writer, Charlie Adlard, the artist, they're just firing on all cylinders. The governor gets killed by one of his...
By the woman that he made shoot Lori.
Yes. When she realizes
she
shot
was like, you
Lori
made me
and a
shoot
baby.
a baby!
So she
like,
shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
She shoots the governor in the head. So this is the end of the saga of the governor.
Yep.
Right?
Governor is gone. But this is so crazy. But
Yeah.
this is what I would have wanted...
In the show.
I mean, it's very brutal, and I don't think it could have, but like, this is what I was expecting, is like, constant battle, like a big, fight, and like a bunch of people die, and it's crazy, and it's like a lot of action, and like back and forth, and like, the whole time I was reading, I was like, oh my god, and this is not what happened in season, like, the fact that I can't even remember how this resolved in the show is like...
And it's such a bummer, again, compared to us reading...
It's just a delivery guy.
Oh, okay, never mind. It's such a bummer compared to us watching the current show.
Yeah.
Walking Dead, season 7.
Yeah.
Which is so slow.
Yeah.
It's
I know.
so slow.
Yeah.
And to be able to be reading this thing and to just be burning through it, it's so much action. And then this is how the thing ends, right here. This is how it literally ends. Is you've got some zombies up in the background, and Rick and Carl are on their own.
Yeah.
What do you think is going to happen, Marina? What do you think is going to happen?
To be honest, I'm surprised that they... I mean, I get why they didn't go back.
Yeah.
But, like... From the picture, again, it looked like Lori definitely is dead.
But maybe Judith is still alive.
But if she had the baby up here and fell and, like, cradled her, the baby could be alive.
Well, I hate to even go back and look at the pages again, but I'm like, I need that confirmation, too. Like, this is so sad.
But even if... I'm just saying, from the art, it looks like it's possible. And if it were my baby, I would have to check. Like, I would be like...
I understand.
I would be like...
I get it.
I would tell my kid to run, and then I would be like, I gotta check.
It was so brutal because Lori and the baby were behind Rick, and Carl was in front. Look at this panel right here when they're running.
Yeah.
Look at the, like, this is them. There's Rick, there's Carl, and then behind them are Lori. And after she gets shot, take them out now, and the woman shoots her. Rick looks back and sees them, and it's just, it's horror. And he has to, he keeps running. He tells Carl, don't look back, just keep running, don't look back.
Yeah.
I think the confirmation that we get is that the woman says...
Yeah, she says it.
She says, you made me kill a fucking baby. She says, you made me kill a baby, you made me kill a fucking baby. That's the confirmation.
She says it, but again, Rick is gone. Like, I'm just saying if it were my baby, I would have to check. I would just have to check. Like,
do you think there's even an element of Rick even being so scared that he's like, even if she is alive, I have to leave to survive for myself and my son? Do you think that there's even an element of that in the moment?
Then maybe he should have said it, because just even like Rick is a dad, like he's such a good dad, so it's like I just kind of don't believe that he would be like, well, she's probably dead, bye. Like it's like, you gotta check, man. Yeah. Even if you just run back for 1 second and you like
dead baby,
grab
okay,
the
she's
carcass.
dead.
I don't know.
It's so brutal.
It's so brutal.
This is The Walking Dead. We're now on a journey, Marina. You and I. We are reading the comic that neither of us have ever read.
Yeah.
We're going for it. Is it going to line up with the show? Is it going to be different from the show? I have no idea.
Yeah, neither of us know now.
The next volume is called Volume 9. Here We Remain.
Mm-hmm.
Got it right here, so you guys can be reading along with us.
Yeah, this is
I
crazy.
want to get people's feedback for what it was like reading this either for the first time or rereading it
This was
right
cool.
now. This was very cool. Michonne showing up.
Michonne, I mean, but it was very stupid that they did that.
Yeah.
Like, Rick wakes up and is, like, Michonne and Tyrese go to try to, like, finish them off, 30 people, which is, like, very stupid. But Michonne is just such a badass.
Yes.
And Tyrese dies, and it's very sad. But as soon as Rick wakes up, he's like, they did what?
Yep.
Which is like, yeah,
He was right.
when Rick's not around, people make dumb decisions.
Dumb decisions.
Although I guess Rick did too, so.
Yeah. So now it's just Rick and Carl on their own.
No!
Yep. That's what it is. That's volume 9. That's what's happening. I want to have people comment below what you what you loved about this, what you didn't like about it, if there's something you didn't like about it, and what it was like the first time you read Volume 8, Made to Suffer, that moment where, I forget the issue, I think it might be issue, I don't know, 30-something, or let's see, 43 to 48, so it's probably issue 48 or 47 where Lori dies and everybody else in the prison dies. What that was like for you guys as readers. We're 48 issues in. We're now going to be in Volume 9. You've already started reading it?
I already started looking.
All right. And we'll be back really, really shortly with new episodes of The Walking Dead comic book review. We'll be back next week. And thank you guys for watching. Any final words?
I hope that the comic book keeps being this good, and I hope that maybe it'll be my consolation because the show seems to be.
Yeah. Maybe it's doing this for you.
Yeah.
In your mind, where you're just like, but the comic.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we'll see. All right, guys. Well, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.